In this video, we discuss the motivations for citizens to participate in research. It is clear now for what reasons you as scientists might want to implement citizen science. But why would people want to collaborate with you and join your endeavor? In other words, what's in it for them? Be fair, you will be asking people in general to invest their free time into your ideas and work. In other words, you will need to give them something back. You will have to motivate the citizens to join, make initial efforts, and continue making them. And citizens' motivations over time might change because research has already pointed out that the motivations to continue are often different than to why they initially joined. Why is it important to understand people's motivation? First of all, you can only apply citizen science if you have citizens joining. You will need to recruit them by convincing them that it's a good idea to join and that they will benefit from joining. But, perhaps even more important, you want to keep them motivated. For some citizen science research projects, you will only ask them to participate and make a one-time effort. However, more often it will be a longer process of participation. Continued efforts from the same people will in the end create, for example, better quality of participation, less investment time from your side to train and instruct, and the joining citizens will also become more experienced. There are different theories of what is behind these motivations. Let's learn from that. One of those theories, from Batson et al., identifies 4 categories of motives for community involvement in general. Egoism refers to motives that pertain to one's welfare. Altruism refers to motives related to increasing the welfare of others. Collectivism refers to increasing the welfare of a group. And principalism includes motives related to upholding a moral principle, like justice, equality, and caring for the environment. On the right side, you have the synthesis by West and Pateman, where they recognize intrinsic and extrinsic motivation of volunteers. Intrinsic motivations describe the desire to volunteer because it is in some way inherently interesting or satisfying. In contrast, extrinsic motivations describe the willingness to volunteer because it leads to some other outcome, such as getting a job because they hope to gain experience that will benefit their future career. The intrinsic motivations can then be divided in an understanding motivation, where people want to learn new things, a values motivation, where people have an altruistic concern for others, science, the environment, or a local site. Social motivation, where people are motivated by the desire to meet new people and because volunteering is a socially desirable thing to do. The enhancement motivation, where people wish to improve themselves personally through volunteering, or a protective motivation, where people volunteer to reduce negative feelings or to address personal problems. Based on the motivational framework of Batson et al., Rotman et al. Developed a process model of involvement in citizen science. Rotman et al. Found that egoism was the most important motivational category at the initial stages of participation, while for continued participation, collectivism and altruism play a more important role. They propose that responding to the different motivational factors at different points of participation will help keep participants engaged. Understanding these motivations will enable you to choose a target audience, but it will also help you understand how to recruit this audience, because every target audience has in principle at least one specific motivation to join. You can also consider that for different tasks and roles within the research project, a different target audience with different motivations might fit better. Understanding your target audience will also enable you to consider potential barriers for the participation that you should try to overcome. Think of involving retirees that aren't always flexible in using smartphones or other software. You should go further than this, however. Certain areas of research require additional attention to the inclusion of underrepresented minorities to increase diversity. It requires specific effort to engage these groups. Furthermore, The choice for a specific target audience will influence the level of complexity of your research method or the tasks that they can perform. And the manner of recruiting and involving them also depends on that. Will this be online, live? How much contact time will there be? Relationships you build, and so on. By now you have enough understanding about the basic principles behind citizen science and about the participation of citizens, and you are ready to start thinking about creating a project. Check out the next video where we will discuss what to think about when doing so.